Hello and welcome to another episode of Never a Straight Answer, the podcast that aims to cover a wide range of topics from conspiracy theories to popular culture and news. I'm your host Gaz, and joined in the studio, as always, we've got the Mr. Missing in Action, the 411 himself, Mr. Taylor.
Not missing no more.
Hey, I missed your applause there. Hang on.
Yeah,
there we go.
Nice one. Thank you very much.
Hello. And welcome to the show. Welcome to you, Taylor, and welcome to everybody who's listening.
Thank you.
I hope you've been enjoying the first couple of our Christmas advent calendars that we've been putting out.
Oh yes, because we enjoyed making them.
Yeah, definitely. It's been it's been a hoot making them, and yeah, hope you enjoy them. We've put a lot of work into it, so
yes,
yeah, hope
right.
you just give them a listen.
Yeah,
they're only little.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's a bit
4
loud,
minutes
isn't it?
snippets.
So tonight's episode we're going to be talking about it's David Politis,
Yeah.
and the missing 411.
Yeah.
If you've never heard about this topic, it's pretty interesting.
Oh yeah.
It kind of talks about all the national parks in America,
Yeah.
and how people have just been going walkabouts, disappearing
Yeah.
for decades now, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny because I was watching something on it, and he was turning around and saying, "Oh yeah, well, you know, if someone goes missing, and then a couple of weeks later another person goes missing, then a fortnight later another person goes missing,
Yeah.
then that's worthy of investigating."
Yeah.
Whereas, and there's not a pattern. They see a pattern, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if somebody goes missing and then 10 years later they go missing, and then another 10 years or 20 years later they go missing.
Yeah, but then files go missing as well.
People investigating die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like all of a sudden it's not really seen as a pattern.
I believe it's after
But
5 years.
David sees it. David started looking into it.
Yeah, because I believe after 5 years it just gets thrown into a pile.
Yeah, the cold cases, mate. That's
Yeah.
what it is. They come out as cold cases, so then they just don't get entertained.
Yeah.
And then it takes someone like Politis, who, I hope I'm saying that's right.
Yeah.
But like it takes people like that who kind of see the connections and connect the dots.
Yeah.
And then, you know, he's had plenty of books out.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get into that a bit later on. But how's your week been, mate? What have you been up to?
Yeah, just, shopping for Christmas.
Shopping
you know
for
what I mean?
Christmas.
All that, yeah.
Not
Sorting
done
out my
any of
stuff
mine
still
yet.
on the move.
Oh, yeah, because, you know, how are you settling in?
Yeah. I'm getting out, it's all right. It's not too bad.
Love a bit of moving house, though. Do you know what I mean? When you can get all your stuff set up, and
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
just stressful, a lot of
a new
bullshit that
sort
comes
of
along with
fresh start and all that.
Yeah.
So
That's nice.
you were
What about
saying
yourself?
you were telling me about how the walls in your new house are pretty thin.
Oh, are they? Yeah, yeah. They really are. An ant could fight in the corner in another room downstairs, and you could hear it. It's like, what the hell's gone on there? It sounded like an earthquake.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
I had a property like that for a while, but like I had another resident living above me.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, it was just like you'd hear every footstep.
Oh, can't
It's
really hear
annoying.
the neighbours that much.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's all
It's
right.
just whoever's in the house.
So what is it? It's just like you and your housemate, your brother.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Which
That's
ain't
not too bad. At least
Yeah.
you can give him a bit of a slap and say, "Turn the music down," or
Yeah.
"Sort your head
Oh, I
out."
don't need to do that yet. You know, but he might get cocky soon, so you know what I mean. I might have to beach slap him at one point or another. Let's see.
My week, it's been pretty quite chilled. I've got a lot done. Do you know when I do kind of like this big tidy up around the house just before I put my Christmas tree up?
Yeah.
So we've done that. What else? I've did a bit of food shopping, got a bit of shopping in.
Yeah.
I've had a week off, so it's been quite chilled
Just had a
out.
chilled out
Yeah,
week,
I've been catching up on a lot of stuff, household jobs.
Yeah.
It's been nice.
Yeah.
Having a few lie-ins and stuff. So I've got a few more days off, and now back to work.
You're loving it,
Next
son.
week.
Loving it.
Yeah, loved it. I've done a lot of stuff for the cast. Been doing a bit of bit on the website.
Yeah, you have.
Been kind of planning for the future of the cast.
Yes.
And doing some interesting bits and pieces. Had some interesting conversations.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've had some phone calls.
So we'll see what happens.
Trying to move as forward as possible.
Moving on up.
Yeah.
So we'll
Moving
see.
on up.
Yeah, well, it's all that we do this because you guys want it and you guys listen to it, and
You want
every
it, we'll give it.
episode we put one out, and the downloads speak for themselves. So thanks to everyone who listens. I'll get all your new listeners as well. Thank you to
much
you.
Appreciate it.
So other than that, my week's been pretty kind of not as exciting as usual most weeks that I have. I'm usually like, I've been mooching here, I've been mooching there.
Yeah.
Well,
it's travelling the country.
It's quite chilled, so it's all good.
So you just travelled to the sofa
Travelled
and
to
then the bedroom?
furthest I've travelled is I came up to see a few of you guys
you
a
did,
bit
didn't you?
earlier on this week. So that's probably the furthest I've travelled. But like other than that, the shop, the sofa and the fridge.
And the toilet. Don't forget the toilet.
Yeah, in between. You have to throw in the lower the tone bit.
I don't know. I think I flushed it right.
Yeah, a bunch. You get your probiotics.
Yeah.
So, anyway, moving on. We've got a bit of news, and then we've got a bit of NASA news, and then I think we've got the main topic, which, like I said, is David Politis and the missing 411. Now, there is a couple of different variations on this because he's done a few different books, all with the title Missing 411. So we're going to kind of take bits from a bit of everything, I think. And hopefully be pretty interesting, bit informative. And
definitely,
we'll be asking you, what do you think? Because there's a lot of different conclusions you could draw from this episode.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of kind of questions that I'll be asking.
Yeah.
So
I think I might have some of the answers.
You will you?
I think I might.
Like what? What
there's possibilities.
Well, why aren't you telling people? Well, telling people now, I suppose, aren't you?
Well,
get the government on this.
Yeah. There's different. Well, wait until we get into it, and then I'll speak more about it. I think you'll see my way.
Okay, I can't argue with that, can I? Can't argue with fucking ironclad logic like that.
That's it.
Oh, there you go.
Eyes.
Hey. Do you know what? First week this week that I've not actually came up with a proper nickname for you, straight off the bat. I actually just had to improvise that one. So you probably have guessed. Anyway, got a bit of news, so we'll get into that right now.
Yes.
It's the news. Oh, yeah. So this week's news. There's been a lot going on in the world. It's been a fucked up week.
Fucked up end week.
Actually wrote a few blogs this week about some stuff that's going on in the news that I actually do want to talk about.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Do you want to start with anything? What's been going on in your world? What have you noticed in the news media?
Yesterday.
That you thought, do you know what? I need to speak about that.
Yesterday's terrorism attack on the London Bridge.
Yeah. Now, it does kind of reflect that other terror attack that happened on a bridge not so long ago in London.
Yeah.
I think these are getting too frequent now. Do you know what I mean? And this is what I've said about these kind of the
police were
the
quick,
police.
though.
The police.
4 minutes.
No, I've seen 5 minutes on the report that I
dealt with 5
It was
minutes.
citizens who fucking subdued him.
Yeah.
And there was one guy there running away with a knife in his hand, which he blatantly taken off the terrorist.
Yeah.
But if he had not identified himself as, he could have been shot. He's carrying a knife. Do you know what I mean?
Police knew. I think that because the police were there and they ended up dragging the people off because of
I've seen them dragging one guy off.
Thought they saw a vest, so he had 3 shots in the back.
No, it was an instant kill, mate.
Yeah,
it was
3 shots
to be honest, he pulled his jacket back and saw a bit of a vest. He didn't know if it was a stab vest or what. He just, but didn't.
Well, they thought it was an explosive vest.
Have time to ask questions, did they?
Dressed up.
But I mean, it's horrible to think that you can't kind of go out of the house without dealing with something like this every day.
Nah, fuck them.
No, well, I agree. Yeah, I totally agree.
Life,
just get on with your life. I mean, if you're going to get caught up in something that's going to happen, it's going to happen anyway, innit?
I mean,
but
sadly,
the fact is,
2 people died and 3 people were injured.
Well, this is because this is the thing, isn't it? It's like you can have all these anti-terror groups. I've said this so many times.
Yeah.
Where they can foil plots, but they can't account for that one guy who just wakes up in the morning. He's a psycho.
Oh, no. This is different because why this is different is because the guy was on release.
He was
prison.
actually, he was at. They say it started at a convention, just up the road, just up off the corner of the bridge. Is it Fishmonger's Wharf or something like that?
He was invited as well. He was badgered in.
Yeah, of course, because he was actually wasn't
terrorist. He tried.
He was right. He was a terrorist
and got caught. He went to prison, and I think he only did 6 months, something like that.
Really?
Because after 6 months, you're allowed to release
have parole or whatever.
And he
good behaviour.
Yeah, he had what you call them straps on the fucking legs.
What, like a fucking
tracker.
They're not allowed to go out of their house, sort of thing. Yeah, police tracker.
Yeah, he had one of them, but that didn't help. And obviously, like, the system's not working right. And how dare they let him out 6 months after he's fucking been in?
What's this convention about? What was that about? Where they was that supposed to be for reformed people?
Yeah.
So obviously,
talking about how.
So he's gone to this convention. Yeah. So what? To do something there? Didn't do something there, and then ended up fucking just attacking people on a bridge.
Well, he'd been out for a year, so he's obviously still in that set mind of being a terrorist. When the prison service,
it's not reformed anyone, has it?
They haven't reformed, but he's probably tricked them.
What tried making him out as if I'm all better, doctor. I'm all better.
Yeah.
Nothing to worry about here.
Yeah.
Not
that hard if you know where to pull.
What strings
punches.
to pull. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And he's probably thought about this before. You know what I mean? It's the pre-planning. They're not just like, I'll just go out and do this, that, and the other. It's pre-planned. So
yeah, but that's the thing. It's like what day they do it on and all this. It's like you can pre-plan and then it's just like.
But there are hundreds of people out there. Hundreds, and the services can't.
You can't
watch everyone.
You can't watch everyone, but this is where. When things like, more CCTV, more kind of security operations, more security at airports, more security at train stations,
or bring
comes
back
in,
hanging.
because they turn around and say, well, you're going to have to kind of put up with this extra security measures because it's all for your safety, and we end up losing our sort of our sort of civil liberties, and we're not able to move around freely without being watched, and we're all treated like a criminal. And it's not even a case of the fact that we're being treated like a criminal. We're being treated like we're guilty until proven innocent. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's the European rule.
It's a shame because it's like it is a 0.5% or less than 0.5% of a global population who wants to cause fucking chaos, basically.
But there's a kind of
it makes me mad.
It does with me, but. It pisses me off by looking at it on their side as well, because
I don't try not to look at it at their side because I dread to think what goes on in the mind of what
would set someone off to do something like that.
But what goes on in the mind of these people, like the school shootings and stuff? It's sometimes it's not even a case of terrorism act. It's a case of a student who's had enough for teenage angst or whatever.
It hasn't been helped.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's not always a terror attack.
It's
a certain kind of mindset is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And no matter what sort of sect you belong to, having that sort of wild card or that loose cannon, is not going to help the situation. Do you know what I mean?
But in a lot of these situations, it seems to me that like it's. Like the act of war, if someone, let's say someone come and slaughtered my family, I'm not going to sit there.
No.
You know what I mean?
This goes for this tit for tat thing again, doesn't it? Like, you fucking fuck me over, I'll be round at your house with a big stick, and then you come back with a bigger stick.
But like the targeting innocent people is the worst bit about it.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's a fucked up situation, and it's.
Well, my heart goes out to the families of the victims of the attack anyway, and
and brave public,
yeah. I've got to say, do you know what I mean? I can't. the mayor of London was saying, like, you know, he was giving him big props, and I agree.
Yeah.
I think the guys and whoever kind of got involved there to help out and, you know, stop this fucking maniac.
Yeah, big
shout out to him.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's like a fear for people's like lives. He was a guy who got stabbed whilst trying to subdue it.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like, you know, be careful out there. I mean, I know, you know,
but
if you've got the opportunity, and I mean, I don't say this like be a hero or don't be a hero.
Yeah.
You know, if you've got the opportunity and you think you can fucking stop the person without getting hurt, then go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, do it. But think about it. Don't just dive in there and get
in,
yourself injured.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh.
Have a bag and attack him with the bag with the knife, and then attack the person.
Have a bit of something with a bit of reach.
Yeah. Well, it could have been a lot worse. I mean, if that vest was alive.
Yeah, of course. These guys piling on top of him, it could have ended badly.
A lot of them could have,
you know,
been seriously.
Such a good instance. It was a dummy.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean a thing, does it? When you know. When
there's already 2 people dead and 3 injured, seriously injured still.
Well,
that's our...
moving on. Well, actually, like I say, you know, my heart goes out to the families, and I hope, you know, fucking Prime Minister, fucking Johnson was saying, you know, they'll do everything they can to catch the bastards.
Well, you know what? Another thing.
Anyone involved.
It through my mind when this happened was because could it be like another 9/11? If you know what I mean, on working the system on getting the government to give the services more money.
Maybe. Well, what you mean, like,
because it was another
attack.
To say
because the thing is, it's like, you know,
there was another knife attack that yesterday as well in a European country. I think it was Denmark.
It's a bit one of those, isn't it? Because like a government could orchestrate a bombing, right. But a knife attack, that's like getting a rando and saying, "Excuse me, mate, do you want to earn a couple of grand?" And then it's like, well, you're getting shot on sight. So
they could have said like, you've got a year out of prison, and then at this date we're going to call you to do something for us. No questions, just do it, and don't worry about it. We're let you out the country after you've done it and give you a bunch of cash. But really, kill him, can't say shit. What do you do next?
Oh, that's it.
Case closed.
Well, this is the thing, but you're not getting a bunch of cash out.
I'm hoping it's fucking not like, you know what I mean? But it is one thing.
Shot on sight, so, you know, it's not even a case of that they got a load of cash.
It is one of them things that it just pops in my head, like...
Yeah, no, I get where you're coming from.
With the amount of bullshit lines that has been happening over the years.
Oh, do apologise. Here's a story that I was interested in. And I actually, when this story came up earlier on in the week, I started writing it down because I was thinking, I want to talk about this on the show. Right. And I ended up writing a full blog about it. So I posted the blog on the website. Check it out. It's on neverastraightanswer.co.uk. It's a bit of a shit blog, but I just kind of got the points out there.
Let's find out the people's opinion.
Oh, you tell me if it's a shit. I think it's all right.
Yeah, you tell us.
It could do with a bit of polishing. But anyway, Tesla Cybertruck. So Elon Musk has invented a new truck that's electric and obviously futuristic. And knowing Elon Musk, it's a concept car. This is going to be hitting the market. It's going to be about $36,000 starting price, right? Which is actually twice the price of a normal truck. Yeah. But he's saying that with all the economical kind of,
so there's a big price on saving the planet.
Yeah, well, you can save money in the long run by how much you charge. Now, it's funny, actually, because I was in work. I actually popped into work yesterday.
Yeah.
Right? And then someone turned around and said, do you have a plug that I can plug my car in? Yeah. And I was like, that's kind of funny, that, because it's like you don't go knocking on... Oh, even in petrol cars, you don't get people knocking on the door going, excuse me, mate, can I borrow a cup of petrol?
Quid.
Yeah, can I borrow some petrol? Yeah, but because you've got an electric car, it's almost acceptable for somebody to ask to plug their car in.
Yeah,
which is
quid.
a high kind of charge. I assume that it takes a lot to charge a car.
Yeah.
Right. Is it acceptable to? Are you within your rights to say no?
Does that mean
argument?
Does that mean every household should be a cafe now?
Oh, every household should be equipped with a charging port.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
So,
well, they're putting away £1 billion to £1 billion, to actually put more infrastructure of that.
You've got to look at this.
Where they're getting the electric from.
That's what I mean. Well, you've
More
still
and
got
more
to make electric
stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the car itself, it's a bit of an eyesore. It looks a bit of a cross between a DeLorean and something like from Tron.
Yeah,
yeah. It's got a very sci-fi look to it.
Yeah,
and
it's the future.
It's the vision of the future by the looks of it.
Because he says he's going to make it, so it's got to be the future.
Every 80s movie,
yeah,
as a concept to the future, and I think this is what it's
Tango
kind of going
Cash.
from. It's a bit bizarre. I mean, it's got quite a few different cool sort of concepts to it, like the back up slides open and it becomes a flatbed sort of truck. It's got a 16mm clearance, so it's off-road.
That's good.
It's a bit of a kind of a weird looking thing, yeah, but basically it's bulletproof up to 9mm bullets. Yeah. The windows are shatter resistant. And you know the frame and the chassis is actually a stainless steel, but which is tougher than normal steel, but lighter than normal steel. Yeah,
right.
You could hit it with a sledgehammer, and it'd just bounce
back off.
Yeah. So you've basically what you're buying there for 35 grand is a tank.
Well, China's just decided to make Tesla vehicles, haven't they?
Have they?
Yeah. Which are 3 times as cheap as a Tesla's vehicle, apparently.
Right. Oh, right. So they're just kind of going to mass produce.
Yeah.
So they're going to just bring out those same vehicles, but cheaper.
Yeah. But Tesla are financially struggling a little bit anyway. So I think this is a new concept to try and bring them back.
They've even developed an ATV that you can put on the back, and that's a little futuristic ATV.
Oh.
That's electric as well. So
sweet.
you can stick that on the back of your flatbed.
Sweet.
And then Tron off into the sunset. Do you know what I mean?
Why not?
Why not? As well, what he's doing is apparently because it's so space age, he's kind of going to implement a lot of this technology into his SpaceX stuff.
Yeah,
so
I would have thought he would.
Potentially, maybe his the lunar rovers and bits and pieces like that.
Well, that's what they want to do next, don't they? They need to throw a vehicle there, so when we land on the moon again, we can drive around and have a little look around.
Yeah, you need some cruise.
You need the equipment,
you need something to cruise around it. You need a whip.
Oh, use the old shit.
Why? Well, is it still up there?
Yeah. Well, where are you going to take it? It's not
good
flowing
point,
away.
Actually, yeah, that's a good point. Just to recycle the stuff that you've already got.
The little bits that need, updating. Well, it'll give them something to do, and the engineers are there.
The thing is, as well, though, they could argue that,
it's not like they're going to.
We don't know what to take. We might need to have to replace virtually all of it, and
well,
that means we'd have to take a new one.
They'll have to send. Well, yeah, they'll have to send a probe there, but with that probe, they could make that vehicle workable again.
Yeah, well, have a look on the website if you have a look at this Tesla Cybertruck.
Yeah.
Let us know your thoughts. You can leave a comment in the blog.
Colour.
I do. I think it's this brushed steel. That's what kind of get this DeLorean sort of look from.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know your thoughts. Would you drive around in one?
Yeah, possibly.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. If I got it for free.
If someone,
you're listening, Tesla.
Oh, well, I'd stick a big Tesla Never a Straight Answer sticker on the side of it.
Yeah, I'd do that. Yeah, I'll promote them for
it. So, anything you want to talk about? Any stories you've got?
Kids come off school again yesterday, didn't they?
What for?
Around the country. Around the world, sorry.
Why?
It's bloody climate change again.
What? So they've done another process?
They've done another bunk.
Ah, yeah, right, okay. Because I know the kids... Yeah, because this is it, isn't it?
Are they going to be doing this every Friday?
Kids are for the future.
Yeah, but still, education as well. Even though the education
That's true.
you get taught
education
right.
is for the future as well, and you need to be kind of obviously doing...
Yeah.
But
they won't be doing it when the exams come up.
Watching what you're doing and having all this time off is probably a bad idea, to be honest.
But I think they do need to put the pressure on. They need to keep the pressure on because the amount of time we've had... The bullshit.
Yeah, totally. I think, to be honest, I think it's a good idea, and I think the kids are pushing it and doing a good thing.
They are pushing it, but they're going to push the luck.
Right.
At one point.
Well, no, just see how it goes, isn't it? As long as
they're going to end up turning
they're doing it in a peaceful sort of protested way. And to be fair, because the kids, I think it's more likely to get results than the adults going in and doing it.
That's true.
And less violence, because to be fair, a load of kids in silent or in peaceful protest, it's not the same as a load of adults going in and, kicking off.
Yeah.
And potentially
shouting over each other, not actually getting things done.
Situation can turn from a peaceful protest to a bit of a war zone pretty fast.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So, maybe it is the way of doing it. Maybe the kids have got the sort of the voice
we
and
do
the
need
way
to keep the pressure on, definitely. But I can see it again. It's just going to slide back down. Maybe certain things are going to stay. I mean, yeah, right. So we got rid of earbuds. Right. Dealt with. Right. Fair enough. But that's really like 0.0001%. Yeah.
Earbuds.
They get earbuds that you earbuds. Sorry.
What, for headphones?
For cleaning your ears out.
Oh, right.
The plastic in there.
Yeah.
Getting rid of them. The straws as well.
For your drinking straws,
That's really minimum. And I was thinking about this.
But the thing is, it's like when you see the impact, there's an island out there, like Plastic Island or whatever it's called, and it's literally just drinking straws, carrier bags, and plastic waste.
No, we've only really done them two things.
Yeah, I know, but that's a whole new continent that's just
created.
That's been created by fucking our waste.
Yeah.
So the idea is, like, if that's over the last couple of generations, decades even, then what's going to happen in the next 20 years?
There's more shit
30
being made.
years, 40 years. It's like we need to do something, because the impact that we have that is noticeable is fucking noticeable. And
corporations.
I mean, I don't disagree that, that we need to change our sort of our way of living, and that we don't take priority over the rest of the world. Yeah, right. But then on the other hand, when you start reading about all this climate change and everything's blamed on climate change, so it's like,
which is
do you know when they say about fake news?
Yeah,
I'd say that majority of the stuff is that you see so many different sort of stories that blame climate change for this, that, and the other. That. And they get around it by saying, well, a study has shown, or we've read a study, or there's a study about this, that, and the other. That
I mean, that student over there just wrote something down and put it in the journal.
Right. Yeah, exactly. He's at university.
Yeah.
So,
Also, he must know everything.
So, it's funny because I do still believe that these kind of natural cycles, and that we're naive to think that the planet's just
the solar system's warmed
the planet's like in this sort of calm state, and we're going to live peacefully for the rest of our days. Do you know what I mean?
That's what we're expecting. That we're.
No, that's what we've had for quite a while. So it was like
we've seen, like you said, cycles.
Exactly. So it's like we're potentially heading into another ice age. You never know.
Yeah.
Or the reverse.
Yeah.
But, but to say, that's definitely climate change.
All the rubbish and all that we've been chucking out. No, we do need to clean up.
No, that is an impact. Time. Yeah, totally. I'm not disputing, but
my problem's going to be that they're going to try and push it onto the corporations who are going to charge high-heaven charges to the people, where realistically they produce the stuff. They should be the ones who should be getting charged for it, instead of the public, who will probably get a double charge for buying the product and then getting rid of the product.
Yeah, I saw something the other day. I can't remember what it was, but it was like, we're going to do this mint thing for the city, but the tax will go up. And it's like,
it's about time. The corporations have had so much money out of the people and made so much shit that they should be responsible for making and disposing of that shit.
Yeah, of course. This is it, isn't it?
If you can't get rid of it, don't make it.
If you're putting something out there, then you should be responsible for it.
Put it on the public.
From cradle to grave, isn't it? It's like, I think, we were looking at a thing about carrier bags.
Yeah.
And there's a guy who goes around collecting rubbish from the side of the road.
Yeah.
He actually got an OBE. Yeah. And he said that you can tell what areas are kind of like,
dumping grounds
because of the type of carrier bag, like the supermarket chains.
Oh,
and he was saying that Waitrose and that you never see it.
Yeah.
But your kind of your other supermarkets,
your big ones,
your Aldi's, your Tesco's, these type of places.
Yeah.
That you see more of these carrier bags just at the side of the road.
Yeah, you do.
Right. And it's they should be taking responsibility that if it's hitting the ground near their store, then they should be kind of, it's their advertisement, it's their logo at the end of the day that's on these products, on these bags.
Oh, well, have you heard about the farmers that have been clubbing together to stop like big corporations, like food corporations, that people dropping their litter all over the farmers' grounds?
You're dropping your litter on my field?
Yeah. So basically, they're putting a petition together to get the certain corporation to pay or to get rid of the rubbish or to stop giving the paper bags or whatever bags out there to throw around.
If you know what, if you found this big garbage island and had a look at it and it was majority like McDonald's waste, you'd be like, McDonald's, have you not got something to say here? Do you know, or can you not, at least start thinking up ways of getting rid of it?
Now,
I'm not saying it is McDonald's, but I'm saying another, a corporation like that obviously has impacted that by, putting out millions of fucking plastic straws or whatever over the years, unuseful waste. Yeah, exactly. So,
unnecessary waste.
Moving on,
Sam.
I've got a couple of stories. It's been Thanksgiving over in the Americans over in America. Yeah, I put out a tweet there to our American cousins over the water, and wished everyone a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, man.
I've got a bit of a Thanksgiving story here.
Oh, cool.
It's Benjamin Franklin's beef, or rather his turkey, with the bald eagle.
What?
Which it's come from Ripley's Believe It or Not.
What?
Believe it or not.
I don't believe it.
All right, Victor.
Meldrum.
So, Victor Meldrum, if you don't know what that is.
I don't believe it.
I do. Yeah, anyway. So, so overall, the historical figure associated with founding of the United States of America, Benjamin Franklin, stands apart. He was an individual known for his wisdom, his crazy experiments with lightning and kites, and also, invention of the bifocals, and amongst other stuff.
The busy boy.
But so could have an individual known for all these great wisdoms basically suggested that the turkey be the Americans' national emblem.
Do you reckon?
That's what he apparently said. Yeah, he wanted the turkey to be the national emblem rather than the bald eagle.
But all the other animals were like, thank fuck for that.
Well, so there you go. He wanted to have it as the America's national symbol, as well as what he thought was the bald eagle and a turkey, was turkeys. So basically,
I don't think America would exactly be where they'd be if it was a turkey on the.
I know,
instead of the bald eagle, I think it'd be, a different kind of country. I would have thought.
What? Well, because it's national. That's what they have on the, for the Thanksgiving dinner, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Right. But
we'll have a bald eagle because,
to suggest that. Well, I can imagine the meeting. To be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're all sat around now, going right.
Chicken,
we need
beef, or eagle.
Right. We've got turkey. We could have turkey. Yeah.
Yeah.
We could have another wild
Penguin?
bison.
Wild bison.
Yeah, is that like a Native American?
Yeah, it's
sort
like a
of
buffalo, isn't it?
Buffalo, yeah. Where the buffalo roam. Yeah. So you've got the buffalo.
Yeah.
You've got a bald eagle. Yeah. Or a turkey.
Well, turkey's a bit dry. Bald eagle.
Do you reckon everyone was kind of, because this is it? It's like when they're naming cars, they come up with the hard names like Jaguar. And fucking.
It's a bit of an hard name, that Jaguar. You wouldn't want to face them in the woods, would you? Really?
Oh, what else? The Futurama always made me laugh because they have a car that the car salesman's trying. Advocar.
Oh right.
So it's like an egg drink.
Right.
They're trying to sell a car, or the car salesman's trying to sell a car, but it's called the most manliest name. The car.
Right.
Yeah, it's called the Thunder Cougar Falcon Bird.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, the Thunder Cougar Falcon Bird. Yeah.
Thunder Falcon.
Thunder Cougar. Falcon Bird. Yeah, and it's but he's very kind of like Italian car salesman.
Yeah.
Hey, by the Thunder Cougar Falcon Bird. I can't even say it. But yeah, Turkey. Yeah, I can imagine the meeting. I think Ben Franklin was probably sat there and he went, what about Turkey? And everyone's gone, shut the fuck up, Ben.
Fucking laughing at him.
Yeah,
laughing at him. What the fuck? Right, get out.
Say, listen, we'll compromise. We'll have it for dinner. All right, yeah. Deal.
We'll have it for dinner. There's, and we'll put the bison up there.
They've gone for the bald eagle.
Yeah, we should have
for the bald eagle, didn't they?
Oh yeah, but like.
Yeah, well. What would you prefer as your, America? What would you prefer as your national symbol? Are you happy with the bald eagle?
I think they should
the
be
bald
happy with the
eagle's
bald
pretty
eagle,
sick, to be honest.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Yeah. It looks good, looks badass on the back of a jacket.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it looks cool as fucking everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think in terms of like, what's the word now? Patriotic sort of symbolism.
Yeah.
Yeah, America's got it pretty kind of sweet, haven't they?
Yeah,
to be fair.
we changed ours though.
Oh, no, I think we've got quite a cool sort of punk.
The Free Lions.
We've got a bit of a punk sort of look to our sort of identity. But
did you know that they weren't Free Lions?
A little bit. What, the Lions?
Yeah, the Free Lions wasn't Free Lions.
Why,
originally, they were the Free Leopards.
Free Leopards?
Yeah, originally they were.
Free Leopards on me shirt.
But, the lion at the leopards so
growling,
stood in its place.
Yeah. Right. Well.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, you do know.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Anytime.
When it comes to the American sort of symbolism of the sort of like, patrioticness, I think it works really well. Like, you've got the eagle, you've got
like I said, if it was the Turkey, it would have been a different country.
Fucking hell,
You're taking the piss out of them, mate.
Like, gobble, gobble.
Yeah. Every little bit of stuff like that can change the attitude of
What's Canada's national animal? Is it a moose?
Isn't it a bear?
Is it a bear? Is it a moose?
Oh no, it might not be a bear. It might be a moose.
I don't know. Let us know, lovely people of Canada.
Oh,
I want to know what your national... What's ours, actually? What's our national animal or symbol?
Lion.
A lion. Oh, yeah. Fair play. And they're not very... And the funny thing is that they're not even native, are they, to the UK?
No, not anymore. We ate them all.
We ate them all.
Yeah, we ate them all.
Yeah. Went down nice with a bit of relish.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And a bit of crusty bread.
Oh, yeah. You can't do like the crusty bread and tomato sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit of ketchup on the side.
There you go. I've got a couple of more stories here. We've got some NASA news before we move on to the main topic.
Yeah, NASA.
Which is the missing 411, David Politis. And we've got a couple of stories from cases from the missing 411.
Yeah,
so
strange, but true.
Is it me or is time going really slow tonight?
It's going really, really slow.
Really?
Can I at the time? Jesus.
What?
I thought it was... You're right, it's gone really slow. No, you know what? Over the last couple of months, my timing is just like...
Are you losing time?
No, it just keeps changing, like, slower than faster. I'm sure we're in a black hole.
Do you think?
Sure, we're in... you know what?
You said this, actually, didn't you? That we were actually already in a black hole.
I think we're already in black hole. Have you heard the news about black holes lately? Well, apparently there's loads of them around. Absolutely loads. And they're actually breaking records of being like 70... times as big as our sun.
My dad's black hole's bigger than your dad's black hole.
Yeah, but it shouldn't. Theoretically, it shouldn't be able to happen.
I remember us talking about a story about actually us being in a black hole at the moment.
Yeah, I go with string theory as well.
I always go with string theory, but what's the crack with that? I mean, it's like I remember you telling me and saying that it was that there's a scientist out there or an astronomer who theorizes that we potentially could be our universe in the center of a black hole.
Yeah, no, we are.
Do you think that could be what the propulsion
the
is?
The galaxy is, and I think we're in like the
eye
plug
of the
hole.
Storm.
The plug hole. No, well, we passed the.
We're in the plug hole and we're getting swirled down.
Round. Yeah, we're going down and down and down.
Right. Okay, that could answer the why some days feel longer than others.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I've got this story. Yeah.
Yeah.
You might have heard it in the news recently, but it's the mystery of who was behind the boat that washed up on the Irish coast after apparently coming from Canada.
Badgers.
It's been solved now.
It's been solved. It weren't the badgers.
So the houseboat came ashore in Drum Beach in Coe Mayo in November 2016 with clues as to who made it with no sign of life.
Oh, right.
So it washed up on the shore.
Yeah.
Strange looking craft with solar panels on the top and was badly damaged, despite still having, like enough buoyancy to float.
Yeah.
Inside there was inscription saying, I Rick Small, donate this structure to the homeless youth to give them a better life than the newfound leader chose not to do. No rent, no mortgage, no hydro. Yeah. This is what was carved inside.
Shit.
After the time, efforts to track down Rick Small provided futile, and it was not known whether he was dead or alive.
What was it?
So, last week, the Canadian broadcaster CTV found Mr. Small in Victoria, British Columbia, on the Pacific coast. Yeah.
Sweet as a nut.
So, obviously, this structure, this boat, he's just kind of washed it off.
He's
like,
littering.
He's just let it kind of go off to sea.
He's littering the sea.
Said anyone finds it, you can have it. But he turned out to be the 62-year-old. Basically had a passion for solar technology and built the boat to highlight the dangers of climate change in the Antarctic.
What? So he just set it adrift and went, well, there you go.
His plan was to set sail from Newfoundland, where it was constructed, on the coast towards the diminishing sea ice.
All right.
But after his plan was scuppered by
flat tire,
it was his failure to find basically a good enough motor. He just basically thought, fuck it, and just let it go.
Out to sea.
Yeah.
Litterbug.
I know, isn't it? So he said he was pleased that the vessel made it all the way across the Atlantic, adding, it didn't sink, so it must have done good job. Hey.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Yeah, but no one was in it, so what was it? Craft or rubbish?
It
what
was
can
floating, so I'd say it was a craft.
A turd floats.
Yeah, some turds float, not all turds float.
Yeah, no, but
I'd say it was quite an interesting story. I think it was baffling a lot of people for a long time. Like, say it was 2014 when
people something to do.
When the boat kind of first came in. Yeah. And since then, they've obviously put a lot of effort into trying to find this Mr. Small.
Yeah,
Found
definitely.
him. So,
and he didn't give a damn.
A bit of ingenuity and a bit of detective work there.
Yeah.
And Mr. Small was like, I did it all for climate change. Hey. You get away with anything nowadays, can't you? It's like, what you're doing, sending balloons into space.
Oh, climate change. Yeah, man.
Sweet.
Checking the climate out.
They've got something about checking something out. Yeah. Your mate, Mr. Trump.
Oh, yeah, Trumpy.
Oh, my days. Have you seen what he's been up to this week?
Oh, the brilliant man.
The brilliant mind of Donald Trump.
Yeah, what's he been up to?
Well, he's getting his social media fucking should be taken off him. He should change the passwords and just stop letting him tweet stuff. Donald Trump's picture of his head on Rocky's body.
Oh my days!
He's tweeted it out, but no one's sure why.
Someone's broke into his account. It's anonymous, isn't it?
So the picture's been set to, basically join the list of president.
Hey, he's not
US
like a vain man.
Most memorable and bizarre posts, such as the infamous.
He got his fucking hair right.
What's that?
He's not a vain man, though, is he?
Tweet.
Yeah, man.
So this is a
looking good there, Donald.
A picture of Donald Trump with his head photoshopped onto Rocky Balboa's body.
That's him.
It's confusing people.
That's him. No. There's no doxing anywhere along the lines.
Well, the US president tweeted a picture on Wednesday morning without a caption or a single word to explain it. So,
booyaka.
Yeah. It shows his head superimposed onto the body of world famous fictional boxer played by Sylvester Stallone.
Telling you it's real, man. Look at it, it's real.
Yeah, so basically, he just posted it. No caption.
He's looking
nothing.
buff there, isn't he?
Don't
fucking
get
hell,
it.
he's got rid of his bitch
more than 500,000 likes later, people are still trying to work out what it's all about. Many have tweeted unflattering photo of Donald Trump in response, but
because they like him. They like him like that. They're showing. Dear. This is our strong president.
Well, amongst various people have been mocking him around the world anyway. So
it's funny, man.
yeah, he's a funny
It's
guy.
good. Well, yeah, that ain't doctored, man. I'm telling you.
Well, check it out. I might throw that up on the website, on the blog.
Yeah, right on the blog.
Oh, unless you've probably already seen it by now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you stop puking up now.
It's pretty good Photoshop, to be fair.
Yeah, it is. Not
Well,
wrong there.
We've got some NASA news before we move on. So, in NASA news, how do you think NASA is going to evolve now with this sort of partnership with all these private space companies?
There've been partnerships with space companies for years, mate.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's more kind of, there's more of them, isn't there? I think.
Yeah, more of them well, a lot of them were, like, you know, stuck in the back where, we don't exist. But now the more of them are coming forward going, we've been dealing with this, that and the other and doing this, that. But it's all about money at the end of the day. They're trying to be the ones to have the certain parts to connect.
I suppose it makes sense from like a budgetary standpoint as well, because a lot of the time it's like NASA would like to do all this stuff, but they don't have the budget. Yeah, so if they can kind of outsource it to another company, you know, who just do that one thing, then you know, it's like a lot of different companies coming together. And I think,
look at SpaceX.
But the good thing is, it's not all about just the States, is it? I mean, are they working with other countries, or are these other countries just helping themselves at the minute?
No, there's always private corporations who, I mean, because we all know that that's going to be the next step, even though it should be the ocean first. But we all know that's going to be the next step, and we've pushed, since JFK pushed the button to, right, we're going to do this. Like, we ain't doing it because it's easy, we're doing it because it's hard. And it's a case where we've got that sort of mentality again. We're sort of growing it again, but I don't know how long is it going to last. You know, it might only last about 10 years, and then everyone goes, no, we need money for this, that and the other. We can't put any money into space.
Well, they're paying a lot of dough out, boys. Like, NASA expects to pay about 90 million per seat. Yeah, on, like, you know, the upcoming missions for astronauts. Damn, whereas, like, so there's a breakdown here of NASA cost per astronaut. So the Russian Soyuz capsule is 86 million per astronaut, and it's the only rocket can take us up there at the moment. The Starliner, which is NASA, I think, isn't it? It's got that's 90 million per astronaut. Yeah. But then SpaceX Crew Dragon is about 55 million per astronaut. So, you know, it's I think it's like when they can promise to take them for prices, which is half what they're paying virtually, then it stands to reason that they'll go with an exterior company in them respects. Yeah, everyone wants the cheaper deal, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's a better deal. But look how SpaceX is pushed us along to go further. Oh yeah, and I think that's NASA it. Because this is it. I think when NASA see other companies doing a bit better than them, they start thinking, "Fuck, we best reopen our programs." And they've always, I think the US government's always been like that in some respects. Like, you know, we've talked about the psychic arms race, where it was like, we'll put a bit of propaganda out, and then Russia will take us up on the propaganda, believe that we're doing it, but then a bit more propaganda will go back to the States saying, well, Russia's actually making really good progress in this psychic arms. And they'll go, really? Right. Shit, we best get back on it. We best get on it then, because we only put it out as a bullshit thing, but they've double bluffed them. Yeah. So let's go for it. And now all of a sudden, NASA, the US is spending fucking thousands on projects like MK Ultra and all this other bullshit. But there is bad things as well to do with, like, companies like having the contracts, as in, you know, we're allowed to have access to certain things, and they get the certain things, but then they're not willing to sell to the public or give to NASA or give back to the government because of these dodgy contracts, saying we do what we want with this. This is our product, not your product, and you're going to pay us for it as well. Right. And you know, there's always a money. Follow the money, as they say. And it smells dodgy. Have you seen NASA are launching a new robotic lunar lander? This is
Nice.
It's
This
pretty
is what
cool.
I was saying before about when you were talking about Tesla.
Yeah, like adding a bit to
Yeah.
it. But like, well, so they're releasing basically images of this new lunar lander that's going to be available for missions to the moon, Mars, and beyond. The development of the top tier technology is critical to the success.
Yes.
With basically lunar exploration and scientific investigations.
We need to know more.
So yeah, it will carry a wide variety of payloads to the moon, and has increased basically. Obviously, its doability. It can do a lot because it can carry a lot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's going to be. When are they going to have this ready by?
Don't know about, was it 2025, I think it was?
Well,
Like
that's instead of this 2024. They said they want to be up here on the moon.
Yeah.
Right. So
we'll be getting ready to
they'll
go
probably
Mars.
want to get this ready for a couple of years previous to iron out any bugs. Or I should imagine that if it's not ready now, it should be ready in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to see these things when they
You can't rush these
when
things
they're on
either.
the ground. You know what I mean? Like you see them they'll be on the news.
Yeah, but you can't rush them either, you know what I mean?
No,
You've got to make
totally.
sure it's safe and it does its job.
Yeah, well, there you go. One last NASA news. Have you got anything NASA related you want to talk about?
No, I think...
I've got two NASA stories, actually, before we go. UFO photos made famous.
Yeah.
Right, so UFO photos made famous by the X-Files.
Oh, yeah.
Surfaces, and they're up for auction.
Oh, right. Oh, sweet.
So, a series of iconic photographs of UFOs, including some that were used and featured in the TV show The X-Files, have gone up for auction. The images are part of the Sotheby's online auction that is devoted to space photography and include a lot of 6 prints by Billy Albert Meyer, or is it, Meyer?
Yeah.
That is from Switzerland in 1975. These images proposed to depict an interstellar visit.
A visitor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's a visit of a spacecraft.
Oh, right.
From the planet Era.
Zog.
With 2 single UFOs moving slowly over the town. So the images are depicting a single UFO in a forested hilly area, and said, and basically, this is what they're saying in a statement that what they depict.
Right.
So one of the images in the lot was used to create the famous "I Want to Believe" poster featured in the first season of the X-Files.
Yeah.
And has been auctioned. They expect pretty kind of a good run on it.
And did you know the real X-Files in the MOD? A guy called Nick Pope, he had a similar one right behind him.
Oh, right.
It was thanks to the X-Files as well.
Well, the poster that was often seen in the office of the FBI Special Agent Fox Mulder, played by David Duchovny, the lot with the image used to create it, "I Want to Believe" poster, is estimated to sell between $6,000 to $9,000.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I would have thought a little bit more, to be honest.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. There's loads of fans of the X-Files. I'm a big fan of the X-Files. Got shitloads of stuff in there still.
Yeah. I liked it. I was a fan, actually, when it was on.
Yeah.
I think it kind of fizzled out towards the end. It got a bit kind of samey and a bit boring.
Well.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So, what?
I got Mulder's badge as well. I'm Fox Mulder.
How's he get around without it?
Well, I don't know.
You fucking
Don't
stealing
know.
it?
I retired him, you get me? I retired him and I'm Fox Mulder now.
So, yeah. So
So
check
I'm
out the
investigating.
Sotheby's auction. Sale also includes some other Mayer photos used in the series trailer and for the reboot in 2016. One image is a part of the set 7 vintage chromatic prints, and they expect to fetch again $6,000 to $9,000. So yeah, check it out, Sotheby's online auction. If you're into the X-Files and you want a bit of memorabilia, or it's just some cool photography,
Yeah,
get on it.
yeah.
Oh, there you go. That was pretty much the news and the NASA news. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we move on?
Well, there's a nice picture at the minute of the interstellar space object that's coming.
Is this another meteorite or another?
Yeah, this is the second one. You know, like a Muamua.
Oh yeah.
It's the second one that's slightly different. There's different aspects.
Was there any
of it.
anomalies with this one? Because they were.
Yeah, there is.
Obviously, a Muamua was the peanut one, was it?
No, it was the one that looked like a long spacecraft.
Oh, that was right. Yeah, it was a cylindrical, wasn't it? Normally, it is a bit more kind of circular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This other one.
And it was the first, you're right, it was the first actual interstellar object.
Yep, that we've ever found. And the second one, there's a picture now out of it.
Right,
A
okay.
couple of pictures.
So what's this one looking
NASA
like? Is this one looking a bit
At the minute, it's looking like a bright thing.
Bright?
Yeah, it's bright.
Right.
Yeah, because it's going through, I don't know, it's stages.
Right, we'll have to have a look at that and see if we can find any pictures.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what I was thinking was if this one comes into our solar system and it's
going to come
a funky shape, right.
Yeah,
does this
bigger.
suggest that, like, the way planets form is only specific to our location? Do you know what I mean? So it's like, because everything in our sort of vicinity is kind of circular sort of planet size, planetoids or whatever. Yeah. Now, this other thing came in and it was a cigar shaped. Yeah. Then if the next thing comes in and that's a different shape altogether, then it kind of throws out our kind of theories of how planets form, because that's suggesting that the two things that have come out of an interstellar space that we've come across don't measure up to that, don't match up to our model of how a planet forms or how a meteorite forms, or because most things come in like these sort of like at least chunks.
Well, no, you've got nothing in spec. Like if let's say a planet blew up and this was
bluish chunks,
a part of that planet that just come out, and like there's nothing against it to downgrade it. So what it was at the time that it left its galaxy and went through the open multiverse and then come back into our galaxy, then it will be exactly the same. The only difference would be is if it hits something like a planet or a gravity to make it actually make the shape of it.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's like, is it localized to our...
No, it's definitely not localized, but it was spotted about a year ago.
Well, because this is it. It's like, well, okay, gravity changes and shifts. Yeah, right. So further out in space you go, I assume.
There's not going to be a lot.
There's not a lot of gravity. You become weightlessness. You become weightless.
And smacking in to each other, little bits smacking in, so you're getting snapped, you get them changed. That'd be the only thing that would.
And the further you go out into deep space, then there'll be less gravity because if this cloth theory is to be believed, right, where gravity is created because of these heavy objects on a fabric, and the we're kind of being pulled towards that heavy object, the sun, that means that the further we go out into space, the less we're going to have that pulling on us. Yeah. So therefore, there'll be...
Because it's like the sun's holding...
There'll be nothing to keep anything together in that respect. So, like, in terms of...
But the thing is, it shouldn't be that way. It's like a clock.
Anything forming.
It's like a clock and all them little bits are working in the right order. But if it was supposed to have been chaos from the beginning, what made this... do what it's doing now? There's loads of questions about it. How come our soul clock works? How
it's true, isn't it? Yeah, there is a bit of a clockwork sort of.
It shouldn't be like that, though.
Sort of uniformity to it. It's almost like intricate.
Yeah. But scientists are getting is a new story as well. Scientists have just announced that they are so close to the beginning of the Big Bang. on looking on the
Oh,
timeline.
we're so close.
Because they got to look in with what's the fucking word? There's a certain another timeline which is smaller than like a millisecond, and then even smaller than a millisecond.
Literally, kind of breaking it down.
Yeah, they've been doing it for like years to try and break it down to smaller and smaller, so we get the information and that. But they reckon they're nearly near the end.
All right, okay.
So that's going to be big news.
We're talking about
if it's true.
Near the end. We're nearly at the end of the news.
We are.
There you go. We've got a pretty much a pretty interesting show coming up in terms of a main topic tonight.
Yep.
Tonight we're going to be talking about the missing 411.
Yep.
Which it's an interesting kind of concept, because obviously David Politis, he's kind of coined the term the missing 411.
Yeah.
In terms of his books that he's put out there. His latest one in particular, which he's done a documentary as well, hasn't he?
Yeah.
The Missing 411, The Hunted.
He did for the first one as well.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he did, because I watched the first one. It's very interesting. But the one that's just come out at the moment is The Hunted. And, we're going to talk about a lot of different cases, but what interests me about that is, these people are going missing in national parks. And, you could argue the average civilian who doesn't know anything, no survival training, or even infants, because these cases of people going missing as early as like two to 6 years old.
Yeah.
And, obviously the rather surviving for days on end and coming back with not a scratch on them, or they're just not coming back at all.
Yep.
Yeah. Or then being found, like, the body's being found miles and miles away.
Places where they could never get to.
So there's a lot of kind of interest in terms of what is it that's doing these things? Is it, a Bigfoot? Is it aliens? Is it, mountain men, people who are just hiding in the wilderness?
Yeah.
Off living off grid.
Is it a new phenomenon?
Is it a new phenomenon? Is it a creature or some sort of animal attack?
Or is it actually the plants itself, as in spores?
Well, like, feed me, Seymour.
Spores
Maybe.
and stuff like that.
Well, no, because I don't know what you mean, like potentially tripping these people out and making them like a bit forgetful of where they are, what they're doing.
Have you heard the latest on ghosts?
You said actually an interesting thing before you go into that. It could be the government doing
hiding
tests
stuff,
on people.
Hey, some people, governments aren't fully.
They're not all whiter than white, are they?
Exactly.
So,
so
well, for fuck's sake, let's put it this way: we've covered enough topics on Never a Straight Answer to know that the government have been involved in some pretty shady shit over the last couple of years and beyond. So it's not in within the realms of possibility. But go on, what was you saying there?
Yes, like spores. Like what made me think about it was actually an X-File.
Oh, right, okay.
About how there's
come on, Spooky.
About, I think it was last year, where a study come out in a British journal saying that they think they figured out why people see ghosts.
Right, okay.
And it turns out that they believe that there's some kind of spawn that's going round, and like once you inhale a certain degree of it, you start hallucinating.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, there's there's a tree, isn't there? I posted something on the website a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
About this tree. I think I always forget what the thing's called. Hang on, let me see if I can find it.
Yeah. It's called tree.
No, it's fucked up stuff. It's
monkey juice.
It's basically this drug, and if you kind of get it blown in your face, you end up becoming very kind of suggestible.
Yeah,
but the tree itself, if you fall asleep underneath the tree that produces these nuts or this sort of poison,
these spawns.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, then you can kind of never wake up. You could fall asleep and never wake up, really.
Yeah.
But so the locals, obviously have a bit of kind of something to say about it and say, just watch what you're doing if you're going to go sleep around there or fall asleep underneath that tree.
Unless they don't like you.
Well, maybe.
Like, you see that tree there?
Scopolamine.
Good luck to sleep under that.
So it's the scopolamine tree, I think.
Right. Okay.
And they just generally just grow at the side of the road. Right. Or, you get a bit close to it and it's enough to make you go a bit, bit west. And wouldn't know what happened or even remember what was happening, what you've been doing. Yeah. So there is wildlife out there and plant life that, if you were in a situation where you didn't know what you were eating or, taking.
There may even be prehistoric still, plant life that defend its way through that kind of performance.
So what do you think it is? So we'll go in fact, what we'll do is we'll go into a couple of cases.
Yeah.
And then we can discuss what we think it is anyway. Yeah. So have you got any info on David?
Yes, I have. He was a police officer. He was a police officer for 20 years. He did murder investigations. He did detective works and stuff like that. Then he basically retired. Then he had someone asked him about a missing person, so he'd thought he'd check it out.
Yeah.
So he'd go and ask the rangers about missing people, and they turned around and said they had list of missing people.
There was one ranger in particular who came to him, wasn't he, and said, "Hey, I think I've got some stuff here that you might be interested in." Yeah. Which sparked off
his interest in
the national parks, I think. Yeah.
So he's trying to find information in it here and there, but he's getting blocked left, right, and centre, and he's starting to look a bit suspicious.
Well, the national parks are a source of pride and a beauty for America. Do you know what I mean? They provide beautiful wildlife, places to explore, and reconnect with nature.
But this just ain't happening in America. It's happening worldwide.
Well, no, these missing cases are definitely. Yeah. But basically, this is a thing so people are generally going missing in these historical landmarks.
Strange way.
Since National Park Services was established in 1916, more than 1,000 visitors have disappeared whilst visiting the parks, and often without a trace. And because there's no federal level database tracking how many people have actually gone missing, on these lands, it's difficult to pin down an exact number of the missing.
Yeah, because you know what? It's not actually illegal to go missing.
It's not, is it?
It's not, and that is why the investigation stopped.
In fact, we covered a thing, where it was an area between Yellowstone Park, I think it was, where on
the edge,
I think basically it's the edge, the top edge of the map of Yellowstone, right?
Yeah.
But I think the park goes into two states. Yeah.
Yeah.
And because the police are only allowed to, or I think it's something to do with witnesses. Yeah.
Yeah.
And right, I've got it wrong. So basically,
right,
clear it up.
Yeah.
If you cannot be tried for murder, right, if you commit a murder within this little area, like a strip of land.
Oh yeah, it's like a no man's land.
It's a no man's land between these two states in the middle of Yellowstone Park, right? Yeah. Now, if you murder someone there, you can't be tried because your jury needs to be consisted of 12 local people within a certain square footage of that area.
Yeah.
Right? But because nobody lives in that area, it's a no man's land. Yeah. Oh, yeah, if you've witnessed it.
But then that's only one juror.
Well, that's not a juror, that's a witness. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's
right.
True. That,
They can't be a juror.
Yeah.
So you need to get people who live in a certain distance from the crime.
Yeah.
Crime scene.
Yeah.
So there's nobody who lives there, so they can't have a jury of your peers. So therefore, you can get away with murder there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, because they just take you to a different court, surely. But
no, it'll come under international law.
There'd be some way around it getting you.
It'd be put as a war crime and be taken to The Hague, more than likely.
Boom. So so basically,
violations and shit.
There's a lot of kind of so people are going missing in these national parks. There's a lot of stuff that basically the police, detectives, and kind of the the people who investigate these cases don't really dive into, and they don't really entertain. Do you know what I mean?
No, because after the search, then they have no...
This is it, yeah. They're very on the ball with the searches,
Yeah.
I found. Whenever I've kind of looked into these, they always say the search instant. It was literally
Volunteers.
like hundreds of people came out of the woodwork to volunteer
Yeah.
to look.
But then they've
for
got to go
these
to work
missing
and
kids
go and
and-
look after the kids and stuff like that. So then it thinnens out, and then, you know, the police will only look for so long, the military services will only look for so long, and then
Yeah.
after that, it just gets put in a pile.
Well, I've got a story here about a young kid called Dennis Martin, right? Dennis Martin was a young lad out camping with his family. I think he was only about 4 years old at the time.
Yeah.
He's been kind of playing, and his family's just kind of hanging out, having a nice day. And another family have come over and asked if it was okay if they played, you know, it was okay to play with, you know, the son. Yeah. And so the
That's
dad's
the kids
gone,
to play together.
yeah, see if the kids wanted to play together. Yeah. So this was in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park in Tennessee, and Dennis was age 6. So they're playing together. They're playing hide and seek, and Dennis's dad, was basically his father's watching him play, right? And he says he's seen him go behind a bush.
Yeah, so he knows where he is.
So he knew where he was. He was keeping an eye on him.
Yeah.
And after a while, the game was playing, you know, and hide and seek, people were getting found, and everybody had emerged from their hiding places.
Yeah.
Apart from Dennis. Yeah.
Right.
So starts thinking, what's up? What's going on? So he starts shouting him, go over to try and see if he's okay. But he's gone, disappeared. Yeah.
Vanished.
Right. So the emergency services are called, and you know they've gone out looking for him, and they've literally scoured the area.
Yeah.
And there's been no sign of him. The dad actually stayed in the national park for the investigation, for the whole length of the investigation, because he wanted to know that
His
everything
son was right.
you know, when they found him, he was there.
Yeah.
And that, you know, they were doing everything they could possibly do.
Yeah.
Now,
as a good father does.
on the other side of the park, like about 13 miles away, there was another family having a hike, and they basically, at the very same time where this kid was supposed to have gone missing, they had an encounter with something in the distance, right?
Okay.
At first they thought it was a bear.
All right.
So one of their kids has gone, look, Dad, a bear.
Yeah.
So the dad's gone, had a bit of a close look, and he's gone, no, that's not a bear, that.
Oh.
He's kind of likened it, and they've explained that it was more like a humanoid sort of creature,
right,
with something
man.
like a hairy man with something over its shoulder.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, right.
Ooh,
So they were a bit kind of like weirded out by that, but then, you know, with the reports of this kid who'd gone missing, they kind of put 2 and 2 together and thought, well, the timings are right, so we report it.
Yeah.
So they've gone and reported it.
Yeah.
And they've decided that, you know, that they've done the right thing and everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, most
The
definitely.
police didn't entertain it whatsoever, right? So when David Politis was investigating and researching for his book, he's gone to see the family of the Dennis, you know, to say, you know, I want to have a chat with you.
Yeah.
Can
we have a little chat?
I've investigated this case, and I just want to kind of have a chat.
Yeah.
He's come out and give him 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And he was saying to him, do you know, when you were doing the investigation, was there anything that you kind of felt was a bit strange?
Yeah.
Or wasn't investigated to its fullest?
Yeah.
And he brought up this couple, or this family, who said that they saw something in the woods, and it was never taken on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what they were saying was the police had suggested that people who were out living in the forest, there was some like wild men, do you know, like off-grid, people who they knew were there but didn't want to acknowledge. Yeah. Now,
so secretly,
could it be that these people are being kind of, you know,
being the kidnappers,
rather kidnapping, or, you know, taking women for, you know, for breeding or whatever? I don't know what they're fucking thinking. Don't know what they're doing. Yeah,
they might be doing nothing.
But But it's funny how the police and the park authorities don't want to entertain it. Yeah, right.
That's a big. That's a big why.
It's a big why there, isn't it? So, I mean,
why wouldn't you? Yeah, I mean, you don't want bad news around, but if there's a possibility that they're a suspect, then
yeah. Well, the area where Martin disappeared was basically it was steep slopes, ravines. There was like wild animals such as snakes and bears, feral hogs and bobcats. So it wasn't exactly a nice area to go missing in. There was ravines and like other sort of areas. But one thing that I've noticed as well, every time someone goes missing and they send out a search party, the weather changes.
Yes.
So in this instance, it rained for 3 days solid straight away. As soon as the search party kind of went out, it pissed it down for 3 days.
Yeah, it's a kind of weird thing, though.
Yeah, isn't it just
weather kind of thing? Whatever or whoever is doing this is got some kind of sense of how when bad weather's going to actually come and hit.
Yeah, definitely.
There's definitely some kind of connection there.
So
this is how weird it is.
Have you got any cases that you'd like to talk about the missing 411?
I always think of the. I think there was only one case of it where there was 3 men fishing in the woods.
Fishing in the woods?
Yeah, they were fishing in a lake in the woods, and all of a sudden a child come out from nowhere and asked, is there any bears around here?
Right.
So I don't know why, but the blokes turned round apparently and gone like, no, it's safe, or there's bears or whatever around. And then the child carried on running off. Now, if you were stood next to a river doing a bit of fishing in the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden a child comes up to you and asks, is there any bears around? Wouldn't you?
I'd be like,
have
are you
more
alright,
questions
kid? What the fuck are you doing?
Want to know what's going on? Yeah.
Why
were your parents? Like, why were you? Like the kid was wearing like shorts and a t-shirt, and it was it weren't really good weather.
Yeah,
be wearing that kind of stuff. And that one always plays on my mind about this, or the one who was found up the mountain. The child who he was.
Where he went missing, literally
about 2 feet away from his father.
This is the thing, isn't it? The parents would vigil and all the rest of it. Literally took their eyes off him for a minute.
Yeah,
and then the kid's gone missing. But then he was found, wasn't he?
He was found about 20 miles up a mountain where even rock climbers.
It was, and how he was
there.
Literally an infant, pretty much, wasn't he?
He was found with a few clothing on. I think he had a t-shirt on, backwards, shorts, socks. The rest of his clothing were piled up in a nice pile. But he was dead, and he didn't have no signs of attack or scratches or from climbing from one place to another. He had no shoes.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Found.
Every time as well, they always
there's a big no shoe thing.
Now we were talking about this earlier about there was a case where where there's always cases where people are found where their tent's been ripped open and they've been kind of found naked or with no shoes on. And
with their ass
in the air, buried in the snow, and everyone puts it down to foul play or potentially, molestation or whatever. But there's a thing about hypothermia. That because you're storing so much energy up trying to keep warm, when hypothermia hits and you start expelling that energy, you come really hot. So all of a sudden you're like burning up, even though you're freezing. And you just want to, take your clothes off. You want to kind of get as cool as possible. So, and you're not thinking straight as well, right? So you're stripping off. You take your shoes off. You take your jacket off. And then in some extreme cases, when they're in the tents and they feel like they're trapped and they want to get out of it, they will get out of that tent no matter what. So that means knifing the sides of the tent to get through. And then generally, another sort of instinctual thing is to bury yourself in the snow.
Yeah.
So a lot of people will burrow themselves into the snow, and that's why they found arse up, butt naked, in the middle of a national forest or a national park. Do you know what I mean?
But this is what David goes in. I think it's 35 cases where what he's investigated, which he anything that sounds foul play or like is
a bit bizarre and a bit something he can't really quite answer.
Well, no, stuff that isn't bizarre, then he doesn't classify him. He's just after the stuff that, like, there was one in it's the new film that documentary that he's brought out, the Missing 411 Hunters, where one of the hunters, he experienced hunter, went out with 3 of his mates. They all split up doing a hunt, and then all of a sudden it was starting to snow. Now, he went disappearing. His GPS, his radio went off. They know that if there's a problem, that you'd shoot 3 rounds in the air, so the others knew that there was an issue. There was no issue like that. He just disappeared from an area. Yeah. With I think it was his backpack that was left there. So there was no footprints or anything like that that had gone anywhere. Right. So they called the rescuers and, like, they searched the area. They went, I think it was about 6 miles up the cliffs. And these are, like, sharp cliffs. You couldn't go anywhere, properly without any kind of damage on that. Yeah. And they found his shoes. Yeah, again, taking his shoes. On the side, yeah, but this is it. He's an experienced hunter, I take it. So he wouldn't be going anywhere without his boots on. Yeah, he'd lived there all his life. He knew every bloody leaf around there, you know what I mean? The thing is, there's a lot of these cases where people go missing and they just don't know what the fuck's gone on. No. Do you know what I mean? No. People who have been found, there's a case of Stephen Kubacki. Yeah. Stephen, in February 1977, a 24-year-old man named Steve Kubacki was crossing country skiing through the snow near Lake Michigan. Once he reached the edge of the lake, he took his skis off and sat down for a rest. When he got up to leave, his own tracks were gone. Yeah. And he became lost. The last thing he remembers, he was walking through the snow-filled, feeling numb and exhausted. Yeah. He blacked out and went blind, basically couldn't even blink his eyes for a moment. Yeah. He was basically stranded. He basically started to see glimpses of the forest and woke up. Sitting next to him was a stranger. Sitting next to him was a stranger's backpack consisting of some running shoes and glasses that he didn't belong to him. Right. So obviously somebody had been with him and left this bag. Yeah. Right. He'd hiked to the nearest town and asked a local resident where he was, and he was told he was in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Yeah. 700 miles away from where he'd been skiing. Yeah. Whoa. Right. But his aunt and father lived in Pittsfield. Right. So he knew that, somebody in the area. So he'd knocked on his auntie's. Yeah. And his family was pretty much shocked to see him, hugging him and asking him where he'd been. Because basically, Steve, he'd been missing for 14 months. Fucking hell. So, and this was a case of that he went skiing in a park, sat down for a few minutes, and then boom, 40 months later. When Kubacki first had gone missing, the search team had found his poles and his skis at the edge of the lake. Yeah. But that was it. There was no footprints leading to the water. There was none walking away. They could only assume that he drowned himself in the freezing lake. See, this makes me think of wormholes. What do you mean, like time warps? Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, because there's been, I've said it a few times, there's a few stories that I've heard about, like a man running in the park, and then all of a sudden he's been found in Australia.
Well, what do you think the official explanation is for this one?
The official explanation?
Yeah. Well, the official explanation has been put down to amnesia.
Oh, right.
And it was only he was wandering in the, a fugal state, they reckon.
Yeah, but then there must be some medical reason.
The doctors are baffled in this case, and they basically say it's incredibly rare for someone to lose their memory in such large chunks of a time.
So it makes it weird, so it makes it possible that he was abducted and drugged.
Potentially, drugged. He was probably abducted.
Yeah.
I reckon
Sounds
so.
like it to me.
Yeah.
You don't remember nothing, unless he was, I don't know, and how you'd have to be really clever or really up there to be able to wipe someone's memory.
Well, talking about
everything, just
talking about clever, I mean, like you say, you've got people who are going missing in these cases. Yeah. You've got kids.
Yeah.
You've got
grown adults.
Hunters who know the area.
Yeah.
We had a guy go missing who was a peak physical fitness. Yeah. Liked his skiing, liked his snowboarding.
Yeah.
James McGowan. He went missing, didn't he?
He did.
What happened with him, man? He was just a case of he went off skiing. They found his skis. Yeah.
Yeah, and no tracks again. It's snowing. Then they found another his shoes again.
Yeah, again they're always finding people's shoes.
And then it's the body was found, I think it was, again about 20 miles away, something like that. He was found dead, with no explanation for his death.
Well, the thing is, one thing I think you should be taken away from is they're very pretty much dangerous places to be visiting. Yeah. Even when you're with people, because it seems that these people are going missing even when they're with company.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Right from under the nose some of the time. So
a guy in 1958, he went hunting in some woods in America, but he didn't really go hunting because he not long had a heart attack. He had problems walking and breathing.
So he was just just out there getting a bit of country air.
He liked
and
the cooking and
the outdoor life.
Yeah. So while the lads were off going off and doing the shooting, and they were doing it at night in a big area where there was quite a few hunters. So he was in the camp. They told him to wait there so he can we want me dinner when we get back. So get it ready. So the lads went off hunting, and then all of a sudden he heard a few shots after about 2 hours.
A little rat-a-tat-tat going off in the distance.
Oh, yeah.
He's thinking, dinner time, yes, I've got the stove on, I wonder what they're bringing me back.
Yeah, he didn't want that, because it ended up that some guy running to him and said that his mate had shot his other mate and killed him outright. Thinking that he was a deer.
How did he mistake him for a deer?
Well, he mustn't have had his orange jacket.
He didn't have his orange jacket on. What did he?
His mate didn't have his glasses on.
It was his antlers that give it away.
Yeah,
it wasn't a deer because he didn't have any. Do you know what I mean? Unless he was prancing through the fucking jungle or the woodland like Bambi.
He might be jumping around over sticks and stones. You never know. Well, apparently he all this kicked off and that. So there was about 10 people all in all. They got the body, they brought it back to camp. They were discussing on what was going on, and they turned round and asked where this bloke where was he? This old bloke who had actually had a heart attack and that, let's call him Ian. And all of a sudden, it disappeared. Now, there was no way he could have walked out of the area. Even his son was saying, he couldn't walk 10 minutes without, stopping. And
I bet any money was found about 300 mile away when he found him.
Never found.
Well, this is the case, isn't it? Because there's a lot of these cases where they're never found. And it's I start thinking, is it... I mean, obviously, drowning is an option.
Yeah.
But... Is there such thing as kind of underground cave systems or anything like that where where you potentially could just literally disappear out of nowhere. You could be walking 1 minute, next minute you're down a hole that's easily concealed and you're gone. And nobody knows where you are, and they can't hear you, and you just basically, you are still there, but
what
nobody
about these
can
giant
get to
pathways? Yeah, about these giant pathways that are being spotted, and like people being told to stay away from them.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, they're like wooden paths. You know, like if you'd go and follow a trail and you go and past a certain bit and you've got like pieces of wood on the floor and across the side to like balance people so they can go through. Yeah, like that. There's quite a few of them apparently being found now. Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm listening. It's just that I'm not very close to the microphone.
Yeah.
So, keep talking, boy.
I will. But there was another interesting one that I liked where there was 3 guys going up to a ridge, and halfway up, one of them wasn't feeling very well. So he said, like, let me stay here a minute and rest. I'm not feeling too well at the minute, and I'll come and catch you up. So the two blokes went, yeah, all right then. Set off, went to the base camp, stayed there for about an hour. I thought he's took his time there. Went off, went back to find him. He disappeared, never seen him again. Left his backpack and there was nothing else there.
So
there's another one.
This is it. There's loads of them.
Yeah.
I was watching a documentary about, or it was a segment of an interview with David Politis, and he was talking about voicemails.
Oh yeah.
Now there's a series of voicemails, and it's really freaky stuff. Yeah, right. In fact, I'll try and find one quickly in a second. And there's a case of a guy called Henry. And he's called basically Henry McCabe. Henry McCabe, he was actually on the phone to his partner, was trying to get kind of through to his partner, and it went to voicemail. And he actually left the most freakiest voicemail going. In fact, I'm going to try and find it because you should listen to it.
It's some freaky shit, man. Especially the end, man.
Because I think, when you've got these people who are kind of actually asked, 1 minute they're talking about how much, they need them to, I need you here, it's I'm in trouble or whatever, and then all of a sudden it's like the cut off mid-sentence, or, you hear a lot of different sounds.
Yeah.
Now, in this particular case, is an actual voice that's heard in the recording that says, shut up, or something. Shut it, or stop it.
Yeah, that's right. Stop it.
And it's really bizarre. So, in fact, I'm going to just try and find you this now.
Is it that second one?
Stop there. Well, they're all a bit long, so it's actually trying to find the actual audio within the. I had it. I must have had it on my history.
Yeah, you got off. Well, it was a weird one. There was another case of 3 lads pitching up a tent, and then one of the lads went, "I'm gonna go and get some water," which was literally 10 yards. He walked 10 yards, and it disappeared. Could not find him. He went missing again.
How is it that these people can go missing in such close proximity to like friends?
More people.
This is what I'm saying. Is it a case of that people are being,
He sounded more like abducted, but weirdly abducted, or wormholes.
So what you're saying, abducted by aliens or abducted by a Bigfoot?
Well, unless you can explain the way people were being put in positions, I suppose, like the slaughter of cows and that, that kind of stuff. Like they've been like dropped or broken.
I will have to find this audio and put it up for you, because I think it's really bizarre to listen to.
Yeah,
and I think you should listen to it because it's just a bit strange.
Yeah. Well, it's not the only one. If you have a look, there's there's a number of them out there.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, this sounds like right, because this guy was found, and when they found his body a couple of weeks later, about a month later, they said that he died of freshwater drowning.
Yeah.
Right. Now, in the audio clip, it does sound like there is some gargling going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But then for this second voice to appear and say, stop
Wasn't
it,
this? Yeah.
stop it. Yeah. It's like, what the fuck? That's not a drowning. That's somebody who's abducted somebody, that. So, you know what I mean? So my thoughts...
English
yeah,
as well.
exactly. My sort of brain's pointing towards abductions. I don't see it as in... Like, it's people have accidents, and you can put a number of these sort of disappearances down to people falling into ravines, or, you know, being idiots, or falling, you know, just walking in the wrong direction. Do you know what I mean?
Hold on,
but missing for 14 months, or fucking like vanishing in one location and reappearing in another.
Yeah,
I mean, are these kind of spiritual sort of areas of America? I mean, these national parks. What's going on in terms of like energies?
Well, you know the lad that we were saying about, he was in camps, and then he 10 yards to go to the to get some water, went missing. When they ended up finding him in a little area, which this seems to happen as well, that gets searched, there's nothing there. And then
all
later,
of a sudden he'll show up.
There's something there.
Now, there's been a couple of cases like that where, like, they've shown up, but they've searched that area.
Yeah.
There was a young lad who was basically seen. Oh, no, he went missing, and then search party went out for him. Helicopters were out looking for him in the daytime, and literally military had turned up. Yeah, to kind of help look.
Yeah.
Right? After days of searching, this lad was found, with not a mark on him, in perfect condition.
Yeah.
Right? The kid was about a toddler, right? And now the police were saying there's no way that this child could have survived in these, and come back in the condition he did, right? And spend nights in the wilderness, right? The kid turned around and said he was hiding from the helicopters in the night, because he was scared, right? Now, the thing is, the police never actually fly helicopters at night time. Yeah, they only fly in the daytime. Right? So he's adamant that he was hiding from the coyotes and the helicopters.
It's funny to talk
now,
about
they were
coyotes.
saying about coyotes, but there was 100 people searching, and not one person says that they heard or saw any coyotes.
Like hiding, don't they?
Well, they do hide. Yeah, so what do you think? I mean, do you think it's more of a people being taken, or do you think it's a case? Because I mean, obviously, if you're taken and you say like a homeless person in a city, you've got quite a few to choose from. These people don't miss you. Whereas if you're a camping trip with in nature, there's less people there.
Yeah,
you've easily noticed missing. Do you know what I mean? Your parents would notice you were missing in a city, but
you've hit something there, right? Because David Politis actually talks about this and says that actually people within the city are going missing as well. So it's
do you
not
think
a
it's
case
not that we don't notice as much because
they're not? Because
they're
a nuisance.
Because it's a concrete jungle, isn't it?
Yeah.
People just generally don't notice.
Yeah.
This is the
generally
thing.
don't care, to be honest.
Well, it's not that they don't care. I think it's
do.
just they get on with their lives.
Yeah,
People have just
exactly,
got their own shit to do.
This is an issue.
So.
But there's even the four lads, I think, in California who had a nice little camping spot where they used to go hunting, and ended up hearing some noise and started having little chants with this noise, and they've actually got it on recording. There is recording of it, and it is in the Missing 411 Hunted.
Now, if you've not checked out, get online and have a look on YouTube for some Missing 411 stuff, because we've not even begun to scratch the surface on this. We could easily do another episode just based on case files alone. We probably will do in the future. I'd like to do a bit more deep dive on David Politis as well, to be honest, because he's a very interesting guy, and obviously puts a lot into the the whole sort of
Oh yeah, he's got a
mystery.
dedicated team.
He's
now.
a very dedicated guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's plenty of books that you can go out and buy as well, including the Missing 411, the Missing 411, the Hunted.
Yeah.
Amongst others, I think he's got about 10 books out at this point. So plus a couple of documentaries. And some loads of bits online. So.
Yeah, there's loads of it, and yeah, seriously reckon you should go and look and listen to some of what he has to say.
I will be posting some bits and pieces on the website as well, because like I say, there's this interesting case of Henry McCabe, and like the audio recordings of the guy it's terrifying, but it does make you think that. They put it down to cause of death, drowned him, but was that might have been the cause of death, but what was the catalyst in terms of him ending up there? And these are the cases that just don't get solved.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This is a funny thing, actually, because the FBI doesn't go out and search for people, yeah? But I think it was that case where the actual FBI went out there and actually did a thorough search first time.
So what was their reasoning?
Something they wouldn't have done it unless they
had some motives for kind of. Well, no, they'd only do it if it was beneficial to a case that they were working on, or something that kind of would crack another case they might be working on, tie something together.
Yeah, so it makes me think that there may be something a little bit more. I mean, there's even pictures of there's a story of a guy who walked through the woods and then looks over his shoulder and spotted what only he can call is he says like an alien creature, and moved in that area. And it disappeared.
This is it. There's reports of all types of different manner of things. You see, this is it. It can't just be, There's
a picture in the missing.
Now this is it. During the missing, my research into the Missing 411, I've had theories of it being an alien species, another sort of species, like an earthbound species that we've not discovered yet. Potentially a Bigfoot. We've got mountain men or kind of hermits who live in the wilderness.
I reckon maybe
who wear animal pelts and bear skins to look more, like an animal.
Monster, yeah.
Then you've got government conspiracies of people being taken. There's so many different routes you can go down in terms of theories.
It could be all of them.
It could be all of them. It could be none of them. Yeah. And I think that it's one of those things that it will always be a mystery. And each case individually has to be kind of looked at. And I think David Politis, he does a good thing by kind of like looking for certain different key aspects that link them together.
Yeah.
And he's compiling... so for instance, his Hunted series are all hunters who have kind of been, gone missing in these national parks.
Yeah.
And, has spikes of hotspots, if you like, of areas that are kind of prolific in people going missing.
And this ain't even going to scratch the surface, because there's like 1.5 million people go missing every year.
Plus, this is it, and it's like I said earlier, over 1,000 people just in the national parks, and then half of the, in fact, majority of those don't even turn up. So, yeah. So have a Google yourself, have a look into it. That's pretty much been it for this topic. I hope you've enjoyed it. We've got, like I say, we've not even scratched the surface on this topipic, so we will be doing a repeat at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
We've got tons of shout outs this week. Yeah, it's actually shout out central, and we've got some listener questions. If you're interested, Taylor, you don't know what I've got here. You don't know what I've got. Question wise, we'll get some going. What was he going to say? Oh, I'm losing my mind. I'm trying to get me act together. So, questions from the viewers for this week. Right, so Jessie G asks us a question.
Go on, Jessie G.
That's the fucking TV, YouTube throwing up adverts again. So Jessie G's asked us a question.
Yeah.
She's asked us, what's our favourite episode of Doctor Who? Random question.
That is a random question.
There's some that make me absolute tear up, to be honest.
There's so many good episodes, but there's so many, reasonably all right episodes.
Yeah, I think there was one with David Tennant in it. Like, I think David Tennant's my favourite Doctor, yeah, right? But then you've got Matt Smith.
I
didn't like him at first,
you know
but
what?
then he totally grew on me.
Totally, I thought he was the worst at the beginning. Then it was like, you know what? I think you're one of the best.
But there was I think it was one of David Tennant's towards the end of his run.
With the Daleks.
Yeah, was it the Daleks? Was it the
wolf?
No,
the wolf cry.
No, there was the 2 episodes, the double part where he traps himself in the watch, and he was John Smith, and he was the the family. Yeah. The family was a good episode, and I like that. But there was one that actually just kind of made me well up towards the end, and I can't. Do you know what? I can't even remember which episode it is. Do you know off the top of my head? Yeah. But yeah, it's that one. That's one of my favourites. I think in terms of excitement or original concept for a Doctor Who episode, I'd say
it's got to be when they brought back the planet.
I liked it, the bringing back the Master. To be honest, when with John Sims as the Master.
Which time?
When he came back and he was the mental blonde-headed Prime Minister.
Yeah.
When he came back as John Sims the first time. I liked him as the second time, but I didn't like all that flashy skull stuff. When his head was, because he had a bit of a deformity, didn't he? Because he was like half regenerating or kind of brought himself back from the dead. Yeah. But then he was kind of, his skull would flash, and you'd see his skull through his head, and it just looked a bit shit. So yeah, I'd say I'll have to find out what that episode's called, Jesse, and let you know.
I like that one where you couldn't see him behind you. They controlled the world. They lived on the moon.
Oh yeah! Oh, that was cool. Oh no, that was another one which was really sad.
Started in America, didn't it?
When you found out that the alien orbs were the kids from the space station from the future. Do you know what I mean? I think that was the Master one as well. The circle orbs that were floating around. I think that was it. I think that was one of them. Yeah, right. Made little kids.
See?
Got a question here. What would be the coolest animal to scale up to the size of a horse? If you could scale up any animal, what would you...
Does it have to be an animal, or could it be an insect?
Yeah, so it could be an insect, whatever. Yeah, cool, yeah, an insect even better. Yeah, I'd scale up an ant as well. I was thinking the same thing, to be honest. Do you know what would also be pretty cool if you could scale it up?
What, tarantula?
Yeah, well, a tarantula. When I see these old sort of 70s monster movies, and there's a tarantula coming over a mountain ridge, and it's like, oh, mate, it's the spider's coming, and it's like superimposed film. Oh, I love that. I loved all those types of films.
Well, here's an interesting one for you about ants.
Go on.
Did you know for every single person in the world, there is 1.6 million ants?
Oh, I bet there is. They say that about rats as well.
Yeah. Don't like them.
Got one more question. In fact, I've got 2 more questions.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, I've got to get it up because it's on my it's on my Twitter.
What?
The question.
Okay. Right. Okay.
You dirty minder.
Hey, you said it, son. You want me to die?
We've still got a little bit of time.
We've
still got a little bit of time. Don't worry.
Yeah. Brilliant.
I'm trying to get me Twitter up. I can't get it up.
Hey, that's what she said.
That's what she said. You can loop that into some sort of YouTube meme thing. You can't get it up. Right, okay. So EJ is going to be coming on the show at some point in the near future.
Yeah, EJ, can't wait, man.
Yeah, can't wait for EJ to come on. She's going to be chatting conspiracy theories and whatnot with us.
Good conversation.
Have a good nit-natter.
Yeah.
She's asked us, if you could eat one meal, any meal, for the rest of your life, and which you'd be able to enjoy, do you know what I mean? You'd thoroughly enjoy every single time that you ate it.
Yeah.
What would it be? You'd have to thoroughly enjoy it every single time, so you couldn't.
Well, I do every time I have it anyway.
You get sick of it. Get sick of stuff. Why? What are you thinking?
I'm just thinking chips, egg and beans.
Standard, old school.
Yeah, man. You know
kicking it old school. Finders crispy pancakes, chips and beans. No, smiley faces.
Yeah.
No, I was.
And 2 rations.
Do you know what I'd say? Oh, do you know what? It's going to be something really nice, but you're going to think, oh, that's boring.
We're going to say
jacket potato, cheese and beans.
No, I'll go with a jacket potato
with nice
cheese.
Loads of cheese,
Not
and
cheese
beans.
And beans.
Bit of coleslaw on the side and some salad.
No.
Do you know what? That sounds pucker, that.
No.
Yeah.
No. Maybe a bit of cheese, but just what about butter?
Oh, yeah, there's a little bit of butter, a little dab of butter in there.
Little?
Oh,
no,
a little splodge.
I use it like a sauce, man.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm not disputing your butter preferences, but however much butter you decide you want.
I like my butter.
I like a bit of butter.
Flour all the way.
Right, okay. That's I think that's it. I've got another question here, but it's all right then.
Go on.
If you were held up at gunpoint and told to impress us with your dance moves, or be killed, what dance would you bust out?
Kill me.
That's what I was going to say.
Just kill me.
Literally. There's no point. I can't dance. I'm not some Star Lord. I'm not going to come into and do some dance off for the universe.
I just don't want to show off.
I can't. I can try and do some sort of Michael Jackson.
You know what? I was thinking that, grabbing my nuts and going putting in the sky.
Hee. And then I'm in. And that's me done.
Yeah.
So
or BGs.
That's the answer to that question. We've got some big shout-outs this week. We've got shout-outs for Jessie G.
Yeah,
Gareth. Doing
Gareth.
the long distance. He's a good lad. Mr. Shirley Crabtree, as always. He basically says he's not convinced, and I'm with him on this one, right? Because we put up there's an automated thing we have put up, and it tells us who's our biggest fan of the week. Yeah. And every week I don't know what they base it on, right? So I can't even say.
Right.
Mr. Shirley Crabtree takes issue with it. He says it's a liar. And he's the biggest fan.
Why has he never been? Why has he
I'm
not
not sure
been to the top?
not sure if he's ever been kind of put in that bracket.
Hey, that's
Do you know
wrong,
what I mean?
that.
It can't be right.
That is definitely
he says
wrong.
he's the biggest fan, and I'm inclined to believe him.
You know what?
So,
I'm with you there, Shirley. I'm with you there all the way.
We've got a big shout out to our Patreons who. Big fans also, Swoosh and Jay, Silent Jay, for their contributions for Patreon. Want a big shout out to Dunk, Nikki Weaver, big shout out to Nikki. Big shout out to the Nerd with a Phone podcast.
Nerd with a Phone, I like it.
Yeah, well, that's how we started out. A couple of nerds with a phone.
That's true.
Big shout out to Nick at Tennish Podcast, who's our featured podcast this week. So if you've not checked out any of their episodes, make sure you do. Imminent. Big shout out to Mama Never Told Us podcast. Big shout to Best Friends Horror Stories. Big shout out to Micah, who can't be with us tonight. And that's pretty much it. We're running out of time. Because if you want to get in touch with us, you can get us at neverstraightanswer@gmail.com. You can hit us up at the website at neverstraightanswer.co.uk. You can get all the downloadable episodes, competitions, reviews, news, everything there. Under one roof, and it's the best place to find us, and anything Never a Straight Answered related. That's pretty much it for the show. I've been Gaz.
I've been Taylor.
And that's it. We'll catch you next time.
Sure will.
Peace.
Out. Oh, fried chicken.
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah, boy.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.